Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Chris, and I'm the Director of Music here at Monumental United Methodist Church. On behalf of the James River Ringers, who are in Richmond and Monumental, we welcome you to today's concert. I heard them play yesterday, and even though they were having traveling issues getting to our part of the world, if you keep track of them, they played great yesterday, and they said today was going to be better. They promised me. Only I'll be the one to know whether that's true or not. Thank you for laughing. And so, we hope you'll want to have more concerts like this, and so we ask as you leave that you make a donation and put it in one of the wooden antique plates there as you leave. And they'll have materials also in the back for you to peruse at the end of the concert as well. And there's some beautiful things there. They'll share more about that. We have a concert coming up the last Monday of the month, and you have an insert in your program about Jeff Phelps, who's a player with the Virginia Symphony, a good person and a great musician. We're grateful that he's willing to come do a concert with us. So could we have a word of prayer, and we're going to jump into the festivities. Dear God, thank you for this time together. Thank you for this amazing, beautiful day. Lord, we need encouragement. The world around us is throwing all sorts of noise at us. We need your spirit and your power and your strength. Give us also the peace that passes all understanding. Bless the Forte Quartet. Bless their gifts and their ministry. And Lord, inspire all of us that as we leave, that we might be changed and not lukewarm. I ask all these things in your Son's name. Amen. The Forte Quartet.
Gloves get in the way of a lot of things. We are the Forte Handbell Quartet. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I kid, because we absolutely love playing bells, and we're not going to let you go that easily. The first piece, my name is Luke Nevada. I'm the artistic director of this group, and that means that I do break a lot of the music. I make sure rehearsals stay on track, and I put up with a lot of random stuff. But we have a blast, and I am so honored to be able to ring with these three and just share this music with each of you today. That first piece we played for you was called Offertory. It's a fun, exciting, energetic classical piece. And we found that it's a great way to start a concert because more often than not, we can play it correctly. The next piece we are going to play is a completely different style, though, and that's by design. Forte's #1 goal as an organization is to glorify God with every note we play. So whether we're playing classical like we just did, or sacred like we're about to, or one of the many other genres that we reach into, we believe that any talents or gifts that we have, the time to rehearse, times to come out and give concerts like this, are a gift from God, and we want to glorify Him with every note we play. The second reason is because our goal as an organization, second goal, is to kind of push what handbells are capable of, or at least what people think they're capable of, to rethink and reimagine this instrument. So like I said, we like trying all kinds of different things, different styles of music that you might not expect on bells, and just different ways of playing them and staging. So for this next one, we're going to take just a few bells in hand and step in front of the table and just spend a moment with you guys. Please enjoy As the Deer.
that hard to turn on the microphone. Good afternoon. My name is Megan. I have been a member of Forte since 2011, which it turns out has been kind of a long time, but it's been some of the best years of my life. It's a real blessing to be able to make music with these guys and to share it with audiences like you across the country. So we are delighted to be here with you. And we are, with that piece, trying to set the tone for what we intend to do here and hope that you'll come along with us. So about 10 years ago, we tried singing and ringing at the same time. And then we got all the feedback that we couldn't not do that in the future. So this year, we picked a new song. So we had been doing the same one for the past 10 years. And so we thought it might be nice to change it up a little bit. So that is a premiere of sorts on this tour. We used to play it without the words, and now we had to transpose it to fit in the vocal range and added the words to it. So I hope that you enjoyed it. This concert we're calling Resonance. It's really hard to title unthemed programs because we are going to share a lot of different genres with you, like Luke said. But what we wanted to do with this concert is really connect with you. And so Resonance describes sound that is deep in the moment, but also lingering. And so we are hoping that what you hear this afternoon, evening, resonates in your heart and echoes with you long after the last note has been rung. So we hope that you continue to enjoy this program. And the next piece on this program is Grazioso by Arnold Sherman. It is one of the most beloved pieces in the full Handbell choir literature. And we were delighted to find that it splits up pretty well for people to play it. So we hope that you enjoy it.
Well, we are forever grateful to Arnold Sherman for leaving us behind such an incredible legacy of music. If you're a handbell ringer, you probably know his name, but Grazioso and many others of his work are just staples of the handbell community, and you can probably see why. We love performing that one, and we hope it comes across well. But my name is Tori Marting. I have been a part of Forte for the last 11 years. I am still the newest member to have joined the group, and I'm proud to be able to say that. We have been able to stick together through thick and thin, all sorts of different events. Obviously, it's been a long 11 years, and we've really been able to grow together and are proud to be able to be here performing for all of you tonight. If you are familiar with Forte, I was curious to see how many people here have not seen us play before. Oh my goodness. Okay, well that is far more people than I was expecting. Well, thank you for coming to such a mystery show tonight. We hope you're enjoying yourselves so far. If, as the year goes on, you'd like to keep better track of what it is we're doing moving forward, our goals, our other events, the teaching seminars that we put on, and things like that, there are a couple of great ways to keep in touch with us and follow up on that. The simplest way would be signing up for our email newsletter. There's a little form inside your program, something you can drop off at the table in back if you'd like to keep up with that. And that newsletter just goes out once every 6 months or so. It's not anything more than just a quick touching of base to say, hey, this is what we've done recently. Here's our upcoming plans and how we've grown and what's coming up later in the year. And then another great way to keep up with us is through social media. Of course, social media is where everybody's at these days. How many people here have a Facebook account? Oh, very good. Now, how many of you have not yet liked the Forte Handbell Quartet page on Facebook? Okay, there's not too many of you, but you have a little bit of homework to do. So, Facebook is still one of the main places that we communicate just day in and day out. Post a lot of photos of our rehearsals, our concerts, everything we're doing in between, just general life updates. But if you'd like a little bit more detail on what we're up to, then be sure to follow us on there. We're very active on it. So, moving forward in this concert, if you're already familiar with our Facebook page, you know that we have a tradition in Forte, and that is to get a selfie with each of our concert audiences. And so this is where we can just get a quick photo with all of you to keep track of who we've had the pleasure of playing for. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. If you'd be so kind to humor us, we'll play the role of ourselves, you will play the role of our audience, and your goal here is to look like you're enjoying yourselves. And hopefully that's not too much of a difficult face to put on. So we're going to go ahead and get this half of the room first. I think we'll do it in 2 photos, and I should be able to get everybody in the balcony as well. So, one moment. Let's see if we can do this here. I'm going to have to go over here. Oh yeah, definitely. All right. There we go. All right, ready? 1, 2, and 3. Lovely. And the other side, please. I get the easy job. They have to run. I can just chill right here. All right, very good. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Lovely. Looking good. Thank you all so much for humoring us with that. It's just fun to have a record of all the wonderful faces we've gotten to perform for. Moving forward, if you're a handbell ringer, you already know the name Kevin McChesney. He has composed quite a bit of music for handbells. And so this is another one that we have taken and said, hey, this works great for what we're doing here, with changing up of staging a little bit. And this is the only song that Forte has played on top of a mountain in Colorado. And that was a very heavy hike, let me tell you what. So please enjoy Kevin McChesney's Carol.
My name is Dylan Eckley, and I have been as a part of Forte since 2014, so the second newest member after Tori. And it is a pleasure to be out here with you, out here on the coast. We drove a long way to be here with you, so thank you for coming to be with us as well. One of our favorite things about music, and live music in particular, is the way in which all of us bring something to the experience. So if we were playing to an empty room, it wouldn't be a performance. It wouldn't have the same energy. It wouldn't have the same feel. And obviously, if you were here looking at the altar and nothing happening here, that would have a different feel as well. And so we all bring something to this, and we make this experience something unique with all of our energy combined, and something bigger than the sum of its parts. And handbells work that way especially because, for the most part, it's one instrument played by 4 people in this case, or 15 people, or it's one instrument and all the people bringing one part to this entire instrument. So part of the way that we try to help create this experience and bring you into it is pieces like that last one, where at the beginning we were able to start around the room because of the way the arrangement begins, and we could actually literally put you within the music, unless you were in the balcony, in which case you were above the music, but to bring our audience into the music literally and let you be surrounded by what we're doing and let you be a part of it in that way. We also have pieces like earlier with As the Deer, which is just 12 handbells, so we're able to do that in front of the table and get out from behind our giant wall here that separates us from the audience and be a part of it with you. So I hope you'll look out for ways throughout the concert how that happens. We try to make it so that you are as much a part of this concert as we are. The next piece that we're going to play is a theme from a pretty popular movie called How to Train Your Dragon. And we actually have there's two different themes in this arrangement. Romantic Flight and Test Flight, I believe, are the 2 themes. But this arrangement was done by a man named Patrick Peachman, who wrote it actually for a piano solo. And we were able to break it down and do with it what we do up here. And so we hope you enjoy How to Train Your Dragon.
pretty sure he got paid by the note in that arrangement. We hope you like that one. We, like Luke said earlier, have sort of a motto of rethink possible. And what that means to us is really, one, challenge what audiences think they're going to hear on handbells. So we all grew up playing bells in church, and we would absolutely not take that away, but we think that the instrument is capable of more. And so we're sort of trying to redefine that piece of it. And then the other side is we want to challenge ourselves. We don't want to get bored, which we are very not. And we want to keep improving. We want to keep bettering our skills and honing our skills for the sake of our mission and bringing glory to God through the music and sharing it with people like you. And so that leads us sometimes down fairly crazy paths, but enjoyable ones for us, and we hope for you as well. So How to Train Your Dragon, the themes were new to us for our Christmas concerts this past year, so they're still fresh and we're not sick of them yet, and in fact we're still fine-tuning them a little bit, but that's how we get better. We find out things that will stretch us just a little bit each time, and once we polish that one, then we go on to the next one. We do have some overlap so that we're also not stagnating the same pieces over and over and over again. This next piece that we're going to play has an interesting, it features an interesting component, I guess, of handbell ringing, which is our instrument comes apart and can be reconfigured in many different ways. We're not set to this is the order of things on a piano or this is the order of strings on a stringed instrument. We can move each individual note around. And so you can see down here, we don't normally have this size bell this high up on the table, but this is how sometimes we take and make pieces possible to play for us by letting both Luke and Tori lift the big bells. And so, so this is Head Above Water, which is originally a piece by Avril Lavigne, but has been transcribed for piano, and then we took and adapted it for bells. And we hope that you are able to see and hear the waves, whether they are soft as they are in the beginning and turbulent as they are throughout the piece, and find with us that piece that, regardless of the tumult, that the Lord is with us and He will keep our heads above water. So we hope you enjoy.
That has become one that we really enjoy playing, and God has blessed us so greatly over the years, keeping well beyond just our head above water, but with the blessings and bounty He's poured out. One of the questions we get all the time is, where do we get our music from? We do play a few published quartets that are actually designed for this, but probably 75% of our music now comes from either a piano arrangement that we go through and break down and kind of figure out who's going to play what, or a choir arrangement that we do the same thing for. So I'll take a sheet of music, we'll pull it out, and I'll start going through with highlighters and just say, Megan can cover about all of this, and Dylan's got this part, I've got this part. I guess we'll just give the rest to Tori, it'll be fine. And we have a lot of fun with those. It opens up a world of different possibilities of music and great arrangements that are already out there that we can play. But this next piece we're going to play for you, once again, is where we just take bells in hands and step away from the table. And you can do a lot of really cool stuff with just a few bells. Well, as Dylan said earlier, we like to play with our staging. So pretty much any time we only need a few bells, we get out from behind the table. That doesn't always work really well because composers assume you're going to have a nice soft padded table in front of you to set bells on and switch stuff around. So sometimes we have to get a little creative. So this next one, we're going to take bells in hand again. We're going to step up here in front. But unlike Deer, that's kind of soft and meditative, this one is fast and rhythmic and exciting, and I hope you enjoy Hosanna.
Fairly visible, but we have a lot of fun up here. We really enjoy a lot of the music that we play. We hope it comes across that way. It's too much fun, this instrument, and getting to make music with these guys. Obviously, throughout the afternoon, we've been talking about all sorts of random topics up here, some of which you may be interested in, other things you may not be. However, this is a point in the concert where we would like to know more about what you're curious about, something that you're wondering about our group, whether that's how we do certain musical things, or what we do outside of the group, anything that comes to mind. If you have any questions, I would love to hear them. Otherwise, I'm sure I can think of a few to ask you guys. Does anybody have anything they'd like to know? Yes?
On average, for an average piece, how long does it take from, wow, that might sound cool on bells? Wait, are you crazy? You can do that. No, that's impossible. Hey, it works. It's my favorite piece on the program.
That's a great question. So Yeah, so basically how long from start to finish? How long from first opening that music to we love this piece and we're ready to perform? I would say on average, it's probably about a month. Obviously, some more of the simple pieces. Now that, I will say, a lot of that comes down to how concert ready we feel for it. You know, some of the easier pieces we may have in just a few weeks as far as we can pull them out, they're easy to play. Once we have them memorized, they're pretty much ready to go. Some of the more complex pieces, like Head Above Water, that one probably took us maybe closer to 2 months of constant rehearsal in order to get it to a point where we were ready to perform it in front of you. Many of the most complex pieces are still works in progress. You know, that we will set a piece aside for a while after having performed it for a number of seasons and then bring it back and say, wait, why didn't we just do it this way this whole time? This could have been so much easier. But yeah, that's a great question though, but it does take a little bit of time. Any other questions? Yes? Yes, how often and long do we rehearse? We rehearse twice a week, Mondays and Fridays, and it's usually between 3 and 4 hours per rehearsal. So we're getting around, you know, upwards of 7 or 8 hours a week of rehearsing time. It just depends on when we get off of work, how soon we can get over to Luke's house where we rehearse. But we do that year round, regardless. I mean, major holidays we take the time off, or if one of us is just too sick to get in and get ringing, then we'll take that day off as well. But it takes a lot of time. So, any other questions? Oh, yes.
You performed on a mountaintop. Question, was it in Colorado? Was it a ski area? Did you have a tram to take all that?
So it's a funny story. I'll keep it brief for sake of time, but he's wondering about the mountaintop that we performed on. Yes, so it was a mountain, a smaller mountain, albeit, on the Front Range in Colorado, and there was no road access. And as it would turn out, this was at the time where I was still transitioning into Forte. So it was these three and one other ringer, and I came along just to help haul these bells up the mountainside. Now you'll notice on Carillon, it's not as huge a setup. There's fewer bells on the table, and we had one bell tree, which was the one that Megan was playing at the time. So it was fewer bells, but it was still a fairly decent hike up this mountain, and we took everything up, took tables and foam and some people with cameras, and filmed on top of the mountain. My claim to fame is that I was the one hiding under the table, holding the cover down so the wind didn't blow it off. But if anybody's curious about that video, it is on YouTube. We have a handful of videos on YouTube. If you search Forte Handbell Quartet, it will find our page. We don't have a ton on there. Facebook also has a lot of great videos of past concerts, past specific songs if you're interested in anything like that. For the sake of time, I'd like to keep moving forward, but if you have any other questions or just want to get to chat with us, feel free to come find us after the concert. We will be around. The next piece we're moving into, many of you will probably recognize by name. My Heart Will Go On was originally in the movie Titanic. And this piece has obviously gotten a lot of coverage. A lot of people love this song. It is a gorgeous piece of music. However, we'd like to take and add something more to it for this concert. We as believers, you know, we can look at this song through a whole different light. The singer speaks of how she is absent from somebody that she loves. She has lost somebody dear to her, and how her heart goes on anyway. And we would like to dedicate this song to all of those people in your lives and in our lives who aren't here right now. And that may be somebody who's just distant, just somebody you haven't seen in a while, or it may be somebody who you've lost recently or in years past. And we just would like to take this as a moment to focus on the tail end of Easter here, what we as Christians celebrate, in that our hearts go on. Our hearts have to go on. We're stuck here on this sad planet. And at the same time, we can have joy, and we can look forward to the day when God fulfills all that he says he would, and we get to see those people again. And it's just something that we can really hold to and appreciate through his promise and through Christ's death and resurrection. So please, in that light, enjoy My Heart Will Go On.
That piece is a debut on this concert series, actually. So you are, I think, the 5th audience who's gotten to hear that live. Yes, well done, very well done. Wanted to let you know, first of all, thank you for being here. And if you are interested in what we're doing and you want to be sort of a part of the family, Tori already mentioned the email list, but I just wanted to mention there is another way that you can sort of come alongside us in a long-term way if you're interested. And that's our Forte Handbell Quartet support team. And so that's just a group of people who give monthly to us to help sort of fill the funding in between all of the concerts and things like that. And there's levels from $10 all the way up to $100 a month if you're interested in that. And we give you some thank you gifts back, and in addition to just a lot of gratitude for helping us do what we do. So if that's something that's interesting to you, there is information on the website, or you can talk to us back at the sales table after the concert, and we can help you set that up if you would like. But for this concert in particular, we were actually brought out here by a partnership between this church and the James River Ringers over in Richmond. And so for this concert, if you are enjoying what you're hearing, we would love for you to put something in the basket. And what that will do is actually help support the music ministry and the concert series here at the church, which is part of what brought us out here to Virginia. So we would really love it if you would give them your support, and as an appreciation for the concert here today that they have brought for the community, and to be a support to their ministry. The next piece that we're going to play is, oh goodness, what is it? Thank you. The next piece that we're going to play, she did more research than I did, is another handbell arrangement. This is again for quartet, written for quartet. This is by Kevin McChesney. And this is another arrangement where we are able to do something a little bit different with our staging to hopefully get you as part of our musical experience as well. So please enjoy Brethren, We Have Met to Worship.
They prepared a surprise for me. They have a whole obstacle course of bells back there that wasn't there when we practiced that this afternoon. Well, it's fine. I get my steps in on that one. It made me go all the way around. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the ways that we can help you reduce your stress throughout the year, because today we can help you finish your Christmas shopping, and it's only April. So we've spent a lot of time in the truck. I actually haven't figured out if this is our furthest away from home spot or not, but it's got to be close if it's not the furthest away. And so one thing that we decided was really important to do was the math on how long we could go, potentially, hypothetically, wearing a different Forte t-shirt every day without repeating one and therefore not having to do laundry. And it turns out, well, not having to wash shirts, let me just say. And it turns out that that would take you into June next year. And I say this not to suggest that you should buy one of every possible option of shirt, although I think you probably should, but also to say that we have so many options that you are bound to find something that you like and that all of your friends would like back there in terms of the designs and the different colors of shirts and everything that we have. We have long sleeve for people who get cold, though I can't imagine that you get cold very often here, although I do see a fair number of you wearing long sleeves, so perhaps you've acclimated. And then we also have many colors and varieties of regular t-shirts. We have tote bags, which I'll get to in a moment, and we just have all manner of things. There's pretty much nothing we wouldn't put our logo and designs on. So we do also have 3 CDs, and we are working on another one, but it's not quite ready yet. So we have these 3 here, which I'm going to attempt to hold while also holding a microphone. We have 2 that are sort of general, bunch of different genres, and then we have 1 Christmas CD because it is a bit of a cliche, but it's also true. Who doesn't love bells at Christmas? So I have a question for you, though. How many people are like me and do not have a device any longer that will play a CD? I see a fair number of hands. Okay, so for you, but also for everybody else, can I interest you in this beautiful set of coasters that we provide? It's a 6-pack because you have the rectangular one, and then inside there's a hidden circular one. So yeah, that's a bargain right there. So you may or may not know that streaming services provide exactly, well, not exactly, but approximately $0 to the artists who are on those streaming services. We are, so you can listen to all of our stuff, but you could like have your beverage on a coaster while you do so, and support us that way. And plus, it's like, it looks nice on your shelf. So I think that these are all very good reasons why you should want to do that. I have 2 more things that I'm going to show you because they've probably been done setting up forever, but we also have stickers. So if you have anything like this water bottle that I had here that would be better if it had bell things on it, and especially Forte bell things, we can make that happen for you. And finally, I mentioned briefly out of sequence that we have tote bags. And so this is one of the tote bag designs that we have, and it is the design for this tour, which isn't it beautiful? I just really like it, and I can say that because I didn't make it. Dylan did. So he can't say that it's beautiful because that would be egotistical. But one thing that I noticed after he did the design, and so it was just sort of a miracle, a work of the Lord, because I like this sort of thing. I found out that if you look at this like a sunrise, which I do, it feels very like post-Easter to me, and if each of these lines was like a ray of sun, there's exactly the same number of rays of sun as there are concerts on this set. So, did you say 5? So you guys are this one, right here. So if you wanted to get a tote bag to carry home all of your purchases that'll get you all the way through the Christmas season without having to make another purchase, you can do that. We have 6 different designs back at the table, and then we have a bunch of other ones that we can print on demand and send to your house. So we hope that you will come and join us back there, at least see what we've got and see if there's anything that interests you. This next piece on the program is sort of a mountaintop piece for a lot of instrumental musicians. It's sometimes a little bit of a competition. How fast can you play it, and things of that nature. It's always a little bit, just the right amount of chaotic, a little bit inadvisable, but we are going to do it anyway. So wish the bumblebee luck for Flight of the Bumblebee. Me again. So the Bumblebee managed to most successfully wend his way through traffic. So we are very happy for him, and we hope that you enjoyed that one. Somehow, we find ourselves at the end of another program. We have been delighted to share all of this music with you. And before we finish up here with the last piece that we have on the program, I have some people to thank. So, I have my little note card because I will not remember it for 13 concerts. We want to thank the pastor, staff, and congregation here at Monumental United Methodist for welcoming us and hosting the concert, as well as specifically Chris Titko for being our liaison and requesting this concert, and then yesterday's workshop and concert in partnership with the James River Ringers, which did shape the overall direction of this tour and brought us here to you. So we're very grateful to them, and we had an awesome time yesterday sharing our joy and passion for this instrument with a bunch of participants and teaching them some of our crazy ways. So we're really grateful for them for bringing us out here. And we do want to thank members of our support team. As Dylan mentioned earlier, if you're interested in joining, you can just talk to one of us. But the names of the support team members at the time of printing are in your program, and if you'd like to see your name there, you know what to do. I also want to thank our families and friends for their support. This is obviously a bit of a commitment we have here, and so the support, emotional, sometimes financial, certainly a lot of patience that they've given to us. I want to thank specifically Serena, Luke's wife, because we rehearse at their house, as I believe it was Tori who mentioned, and so that's a lot of time to dedicate their house to this nonsense, because this is what we consider performance ready version. They hear a lot of the same thing over and over again as we're getting used to it. So super grateful to them for welcoming us into their space, because that's obviously very convenient. We don't have to schlep in and set everything up every rehearsal and all of that. And we also occupy a very large percentage of their home theater in their basement, so their kids are sacrificing quite a bit for us as well. And not to mention when we come out on these couple-week tours saying, can we just take Luke with us here for a bit, or make Luke take us with him, I guess, because he's our driver. So, oh yeah, I'll take care of the 5 kids, no problem, you go do your thing. So it's just the support that we receive from our families is awesome, and we're very grateful for it. And then last but not least, each and every one of you. We know that time is basically the most precious commodity anymore. Everyone is so busy all of the time. And so we're so grateful that you decided to come and spend your afternoon with us here and listen to some of the crazy things that we're doing. And so we probably would have still played if nobody showed up, but it's much more fun to share it with you all, because otherwise that would have been a really long drive for rehearsal. So we're really grateful that you have been here with us. We hope that you've enjoyed it. And like Tori said earlier, please invite your friends. I don't think Tori did say that earlier. Please invite your friends and family to stops down the road. You can see the rest of the tour in your program. We're still just about halfway, I think, into it, maybe a little less because of where you were on the design. So we're playing still in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Illinois, Minnesota. I probably forgot some, and then obviously home in Colorado. So if you have any friends along the way that you think would like to see us, definitely let them know to look us up. And if you don't have friends in that particular path, but you have friends that you think would enjoy what we're doing, definitely invite them to follow us on social media, and maybe next time we tour, we'll be going somewhere near them. So we just really appreciate that. It's one of the easiest and free ways for you to support us and help us extend our reach. So with that being said, it looks like they're ready behind me, so we're going to play the final piece from our program. This is another of the Handbell classics for full handbell ensemble, and we hope that you enjoy Capriccio by Kevin McChesney. And again, thank you for being with us today.
So we have a tradition in Forte that you may or may not be familiar with. If we get to the end of a concert and there's still one person left and they clap, we play another one. Mostly it's because, like I said at the start, we're absolutely thrilled to be here. And we are honored that each one of you came out to this afternoon, to share this music with us and let us share what we're doing with you. So we're going to do more. This last piece we're going to play for you tonight has a pretty convoluted story behind it. And a lot of you haven't seen us play, so I'm going to give you the quick version. It happened. They're not ready yet, so I'm going to give you the slightly longer version. About 19 years ago, myself and another gentleman would pick music for this group, and he had this one song he really wanted to play. And I took one look at it and said, please no. How many people here are handbell ringers? An awful lot of you. So you understand that in this instrument, there's something called part disparity, where one person's going, this song is so cool, I love this one, it's my favorite ever. And the person right next to him's going, whoops, missed it. Even in quartet, that can happen, where a part's not necessarily bad, it's just not that fun to play. And that was the problem with this one. A lot of songs when we play, we'll have one person kind of in bass, one in the treble area, one alto, one soprano. Well, I said, in this song, wouldn't it just be more fun if we all played all the parts? Please enjoy, played in that style, the Hallelujah Chorus.